I caught up with Devesh Mamtani, who is the head of investments and advisory at Century Financial, to talk to us about what is triggering these fluctuations and what it means for Indian residents living here in the UAE. Are they now getting less rupees for the dirham? And with elections looming and falling oil prices, they seem to be helping these economies. Now, does that mean that we start sending our money now, or should we wait till after the elections? All these questions were put forward to Devesh Mamtani.
The main reason for the appreciation of the Indian rupee is the fall in oil prices. As we know, oil deficit is a very important number for the Indian rupee. That would recently have fallen, and this fall we expected to fall down the deficit generally, which was expected at 100 billion for FY19 and 66 billion for the current year. That seems like going down by 10 billion on each year. So that is a major impact, and that generally is a very key deciding factor for the Indian rupee. Also, there are some policies that may come in where the Indian rupee would be traded differently, and that shall help the country.
We just also heard there was a big meeting with Prime Minister Modi and the Reserve Bank of India. What did we see from that?
So in the meeting, it is about it's mainly on how there would be new forms of borrowing, and it is more around that. But the major impact is actually the oil prices, because oil is still the biggest deficit on the Indian books, and oil prices have fallen by 30%. We have seen the Indian rupee strengthen by 5% from the October lows that it had hit against the US dollar, which was around 74.5 levels. So that is the major impact.
Yeah, so now what does this mean for our residents here, the Indian expats? Does this offer an opportunity for people to now send less money, or wait till the rupee weakens so that they get more money for more rupees for the dirhams? Or what opportunities does it have for the Indian nationals over here?
It makes sense to wait, because over time generally we see a natural depreciation in the rupee of 5 to 6% on a year-on-year basis. This last year we saw that year-to-date would be exactly around 10.1, 10.2%. So this is what was seen in this last 1 year, but we think that the residents over here can wait and probably send the money back in January 2019.
The elections are coming up as well in India. We've seen the fall in prices and the rupee weakening usually in this time of the year, and whenever we have these elections. Where do we see rupee averaging out against the dirham, for example, or even against the dollar, if you have those figures?
So as you rightly said, generally before an election year, so last two times the rupee had depreciated by around 24%. As discussed, we have now seen a fall of roughly 10.5%. So I think the rupee will depreciate before elections, because there will be a lot of foreign investors pulling money out of India come December before an election year. And once the election is over, there will be money that will go back in. So this will be a good window for residents here to send money, which should start after January, where we could see the rupee reach 75 against the dollar and 20.5 against the dirham.
So that was Devesh Mamtani, and we were talking about the Indian rupees. And let's look at the impact of oil prices. Oil is trading at $63.48 at the moment. And after trying to stabilize in the last few days, crude oil prices dropped another 6% yesterday, finishing at its lowest level in over a year. Relative to its recent 52-week high that we saw in October, global prices have roughly lost about 30% of their value, with surging supply and the specter of faltering demand scaring off investors. Investors remain on the edge after the International Energy Agency also warned of unprecedented uncertainty in oil markets due to a difficult economic environment and political risk. I spoke to Devesh and speak to him about what it means and what we're seeing in the oil market at the moment.
Yeah, so a lot has changed in 2 weeks, right? The oil prices have fallen. So I think the current oil prices for the WTI 54.4 to 53.5, this region is a very good support zone. So I see oil prices climbing back to 70 levels come December, and already talk has started that OPEC is considering cuts which could happen. So I think what Vijay said, the 100 may not happen in the near future, but it could happen over time, sometime mid of next year.
Yeah. So can we expect a 500,000 barrels per day cut and a reduction in output from?
Yes. I think 500,000 to 800,000, probably a million also.
Well, that's it for economics over here at the moment as we're preparing our weekend vibes.